Hey everybody, JJ here in Ann's beauty group. At least I hope that's where I am. Here to do a live tutorial for you. Nobody's jumped on yet, but that's okay. Jump in and out as you want, and then you can always come back and see the replay for the tutorial. So I'm JJ, I am Ann's sister and the Seint artist who has kind of putting this whole shindig together and has been for this past week. So if you've already placed an order, thank you guys for doing that. If you fill out a color match form, thank you. If you're still interested in filling out a color match form, you have plenty of time, because anytime we have a Seint party, we can keep the link open for however long we need to. So if you're still interested in ordering and getting color matched and it going towards Ann's party and Ann's rewards, that's absolutely fine. We can keep it open for however long Ann wants to keep it open. So, so basically how it works is you fill out the color match form. There's a couple of questions. It's really super easy. And then you just attach a picture. Now, I have had some issues that I have figured out in the last few weeks with my color match form, and with Androids it doesn't work at all for some reason, and I had no idea that that even was a problem until I had a couple of clients ping me and say, like, I can't use this form. So if you have an Android, I'm working out, I'm troubleshooting it, but for now the Android, you can't upload the picture. But if you have an iPhone, you can upload the picture. But if you still want a color match, so easy to do. You can Facebook message me a picture, and then I'll just ask you some questions and we'll talk back and forth a little bit before I color match you. So it's still just as easy, and it will only take just a couple of minutes. Now, when you do the picture, ensure that you are makeup free, no makeup, and that you're in front of a window, facing the window, with some good light coming in. You don't want to be in direct sunlight, so you want to be just like a couple feet back from the window, but you want natural light shining on your skin. So that's the best way for me to be able to see and color match you appropriately to the right tint and the right color, because sometimes it can be kind of difficult because I'm not right there with you and I'm having to do that through a picture. And so virtual color matching can be tricky sometimes, but if I have exactly the right picture, then I can usually get it spot on. So that's the first step, is filling out the color match form. When you jump on, say hi so I know you're there and who you are, if you want to, no pressure. But anyway, so the color match is the first thing. I get back to you with recommendations. Then once you get your colors in the mail and you get all your products in the mail, one of the great things about Seint Beauty is, which I found to be unlike any other company, was the way the compacts come, and kind of how easy it is to build your own customized palette. So this is one size of a compact that I have, but there's many different sizes. But the compacts come, trying not to show you the mirror, but with all these little tins are magnetic, and you pop your tins into your compact, they stay in. And then whenever one of them runs out, you just pop it out and you pop a new tin in. So you don't have to get like a whole brand new anything except that one little tin. You know, with eyeshadow, sometimes you go to the store and you see like one of those little palettes with 8 in there, and you really only like 2 of them, but you have to buy the whole thing because that's what it comes in. But with Seint, you don't have to do that, because you can choose and pick what colors you want. See? So that's like the best thing, one of the best things about Seint, I feel like. It's one of the things that really drew me to the company, besides all the before and afters and how I saw the color correcting going, because I'll show you guys in a minute that I have a lot of color correcting to do on my face, and I was really starting to get bummed out about like all the different splotchiness of my face as I got older. So color match, I send you recommendations, you order, you get this fun stuff in the mail, and then you open it up and you're like, what the heck do I do with it? So if you go to my, if you join my beauty page, which I've put on the group, I always have lots of tutorials on there. I am always available if you want to email me or if you want to message me, drop me something in the group, the beauty group. I will absolutely answer your questions and get you whatever you need to make you feel more comfortable about your application of your makeup. So we'll start off with, there's a lot of different ways that you can apply the makeup. So there's a lot of different colors. And first I'll start off by telling you that, like, with our skin is never just one color. Like, you have all these different colors on your skin, and it's just so much more natural, and it just looks more beautiful, I think, when you kind of represent all the different colors within your skin and your neck. So if you're just getting like that one matte powder or that one liquid that you get like at CVS or Target or whatever, like, everything's just going to be one color, and that's just not how our faces look. There's so many different colors, there's shadows, there's everything, you know, there's just so many different things on our face, okay? Now, some of it we like and some of it we don't. So I'm going to show you how to accentuate the stuff that you like and kind of cover or camouflage a little bit the stuff that you don't like. Okay, so any good routine, makeup routine, starts off with moisturizer. So you want to make sure that you have a good moisturizer. We do at Seint, we do sell a skin line that has a good moisturizer. Our line is called the Milk line. So it contains milk, but it has a lot of other natural and awesome ingredients that they're very natural. And so a lot of people think that or ask about sensitive skin. And yes, these are good products for sensitive skin. But this is the moisturizer. It comes in a cute little pump, and you pump. I'm almost out, so it's not pumping up, but you pump it like that, and it pops out the top. But Seint moisturizer. Any moisturizer or any routine that you currently have, whatever routine you have is good. But you got to use some moisturizer. I usually start out with a primer too. Sometimes people want to know which primer I use, but I use this Pure 4-in-1 primer, correcting primer. I've tried a couple. This is the one I'm using this week. I don't know. I've tried a couple, and if you guys know Katie, Ann's daughter, she probably can tell you a lot more about primers than I can. I'm not a complete like beauty esthetician. I'm not that kind of person. Like, I am an active duty clinical nurse specialist. I'm in the Air Force. This is my little side hustle. I love this product, and that's why I do this, because it's so much fun, and I really believe in the products. So here I am. Okay, so what I'm going to start off teaching you guys after I've moisturized, after I've primed. So what I'm going to start with, I'm going to show you a technique with 3 different colors, because whenever I match you, I'm going to match you to a primary highlight, a secondary highlight, and a color corrector. So a brightening highlight, a main highlight. That's my husband. So anyway, I'm always going to do 3 different highlights with you. Okay, so the first one we're going to start out with is going to be the color correcting. So I'm going to show you a couple different tools and brushes that we use too. We have a lot of different double-ended brushes. All of our brushes are double-ended, and they have synthetic fibers, and they are really good quality brushes. So the only problem sometimes people have with is how they store them. Like, how am I going to store that, because I can't stick it in a cup, you know? Okay, so let me start out with, I'm going to start out with my detail brush, okay? My detail brush, here's the end of that, the small end, and I'm going to dip into, well, this is Mango, and this is my color corrector. So let me fix one of my bristles here. Okay, so you can see right here, I have a lot of melasma. Melasma is usually a hormonal thing. If you've had babies, then you might have some melasma, and as you have more kids, and it just tends to get a little bit darker. It gets darker in the sun too. Mine really has been poking through lately. And then I also have sunspots or age spots. I also have redness. A lot of women get redness here on their cheeks and then right through their nose, okay? And then I have it up through here too. So I'm going to choose the spots that I really want to try to, oh, let me show you guys. I almost forgot. Setting spray. Setting spray is one of my favorite products that we have, and I use it to, I use it several different ways, but the first thing I always do when I'm not talking and teaching makeup is I put it on my Perfector sponge, which is this awesome little tool that we have that if you have more mature skin, this is definitely something that you want to be using. Okay, hang on one second, guys. Okay, so this is something you want to be using if you have more mature skin, because this is how we get that extra off so it doesn't look cakey and fall into all of those fine lines and wrinkles that we get as we get older. But what I do is I take my setting spray and I get right on here on my Perfector sponge, and I just go ahead and put it all over. And this helps kind of prime your face too. So I do both. I use a primer and I use the setting spray, and then you can use the setting spray afterwards as well. And you can put it on the Perfector sponge, or you can just spray it directly on your face. I don't like to spray it directly on my face, but it just feels all wet. So I like to use the sponge instead. Okay. So I'm gonna keep on going with my mango, and I'm just gonna get in there and put this on my melasma. Just like that. Okay. All right, and then I'm also gonna put a little under my eyes. And this can really help cover that like purpley hue that a lot of women have under their eyes. I'm just gonna put a little bit there and blend that in a little bit. And don't worry, I'm gonna kind of brighten up my eyes anyway, but right now I'm just doing some color correcting. Okay, and then I'm gonna put a little bit down here because this is the spot that I really don't like, these two little areas down here. So I'm camouflaging this area. So if you've watched the video called the Camo Bridge Pop, this would be the camo color because I'm camouflaging things, right? Just a little bit there and there. And I have a lot of different ways for you to, or products for you to try to cover things that you don't like. So that's one of the questions that I always ask on my color match form is, like, do you have anything that you don't like that you're trying to cover? Because if you do, I can help you with that. Okay, so I'm looking a little orangey, but that is because I'm trying to sort of match, especially those brown spots, I'm trying to more match those colors. Because if you just put, like, say you don't want to put a lighter color over it, because if you had like a black crayon and you put it on a white piece of paper, okay, so that black crayon is my melasma. And then if I take a white crayon and I try to color over it, it's not going to cover it, okay? So what I have to do is sort of blend and match with the same color tones and the same color wheel, okay? So that's what I'm doing there. All right, so the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use my main highlight. So I'm gonna use my buff brush today. This buff brush is a really great brush. It is, I think Anne has this one, but it's a really dense brush. It's got a smaller end, it's harder to see, and a smaller end and a bigger end. But the bristles are very dense. And the more dense your brush, the more full of a look you're gonna get, or the more full coverage look you're gonna get. It gives you more of like an airbrushed look, I think. It's not a light coverage at all. That's what I'm gonna use today, and this brush is 40% off, so it's at a really good deal right now. Okay, so I am gonna use, so this is my main highlight right here. This is my bridge, if you're using that technique. All right, so I'm gonna take my big end, and I'm really just gonna do a lot of tapping. And that there's a lot of different techniques, like you can swipe, but I feel like with my skin, it just works better to do tapping. And this mango that I was using in this June, which is my ridge, my main highlight color, those two colors are gonna kind of come together to really give me a good look there. Okay. All right. Okay, so I haven't completely blended yet. I'm gonna go ahead and put my pop of color on, which is like my brightening highlight. So my brightening highlight is called Candlelit, and I use a lot of different brightening highlights, but I'm gonna use Candlelit today. And it goes right here. And you can see it's a little brighter than the other colors, right? So go up here on my temples. I'm gonna go right in the middle and then down my nose. I've already done my eyes today because I wasn't gonna focus on the eye looks today for you guys, but okay. All right. So now I'm just gonna kind of start blending a little bit here and there. Go back up here, and then next we're gonna do the contour. I'm gonna show you how to place your contour, which is like super scary for a lot of people when you first start out. Okay. So I'm using the buff brush right now. I've got a mirror over here because doing your makeup in the phone is really hard sometimes, guys. Okay. And in a second, I'm going to show you guys this perfector sponge because I've got a little bit too much going on right here in this part, and I always do that, and I have to go back and do a little bit of correcting. Okay. So I've got my colors on. I'm going to take my perfector sponge, and I'm just going to go in and I'm going to dab a little bit. Because here is where, if I'm going to get cakey, I do it in here. And take this in and come down here. Because, one of the whole points of, makeup is to try to really look like your skin. I mean, yeah, you want to camouflage some things and cover some things up, but you want it to look like your skin, right? You don't want it to look like just caked on makeup. So that's why this little perfector sponge is perfect. You go in and you're gonna fix that. You're gonna fix those things. Right here sometimes can be a place that a lot of people get kind of thick with their makeup. Okay. Okay, so I've put all my different highlights on, and you can see how I don't have just like one color on my face. I'm a little brighter through here, which is where you want light to kind of go towards, right? You want people to look at your eyes, and you want your eyes to be sort of the bright area of your face. So that's where you put that brightening highlight. Okay, so now we're gonna focus on contour. This is the detail brush, and we used that earlier to put the little bit of color correcting or camo color on. And now I'm gonna use this side for my detail, or I mean for my contour, because I really think that it works well with that. So this is my I use a lot of different contour colors. Contour colors are not just, you don't have to just use one, but they do kind of go from light to dark, and there's some more red tones versus more brown tones and warm and cool kind of tones, and so I can help you kind of figure that out too. Sometimes you use a contour and it might just pull a little bit too red or splotchy on you, or on your skin, and I've had that too, but this is called Indigo, and so this one I really like. So the contour is gonna go at your hairline, and then you're gonna bring it down. And then you're gonna put it right under your cheekbone, and then you're gonna pull it up. You always want to pull everything that you're putting here on your cheek. You want to pull that up, never down, because you want to keep this part of your face like free of that contour, because this part of your face doesn't have a natural shadow, but right under your bone does have a natural shadow. You have natural shadows throughout your nose, right here, up here, underneath your chin. Those are where those natural shadows are going to occur on your face. So you want to accentuate those shadows, and that's what we're going for with contour. And this is all cream-based makeup, so you can't really mess up. So like this side's a little darker than this side, and I'll show you, and I'm gonna fix that in just a second, but I'm gonna use some of my extra product on my brush here to go under my chin or under my jawline. Right here, and then bring it down. Okay. So now that I don't have quite as much product on my brush, I'm going to blend this in a little bit. And really the darkest part of your shadow under your cheekbone is right up here. So this should really be the darkest part of your contour right there. Okay. And some people like to contour their nose a little bit, and so you can do that by just following that shadow right there. Follow that shadow. Go right down your bridge of your nose. And then you can just take a little bit of your pop color and blend that in a little bit. Blend in that pop color. You see how that kind of narrows your nose just a little bit, if that's something that you're interested in doing. Okay. Okay, so now we've done the highlights, we've done the contour. Now I'm gonna show you a little bit of lip and cheek. Lip and cheeks are great because, as their name says, they can go on your lips or your cheeks. I wanted to show you guys, they come in all different colors. They come in glossy, more of a matte, a satin. And I am going to try to get out this one here because I wanted to show you guys a ruby petal combination. So there's lots of different colors. I color match you, or I recommend you to some, but it's totally your choice. I color match you to that because I think it'll look nice on your skin tone because I've seen it enough, but you absolutely do not have to go with my recommendation on the lip and cheek. The only thing I would say, like, you absolutely should do as far as the recommendation is the highlight colors, because they look so different in the tin. Every time I have a party, or every time I have a customer who wants to have a party, we have conversations about, like, the tin looks darker than my skin every single time. So it's always going to look darker than your skin. So let me help you match. I promise it looks different in the tin than on your skin. Okay. So now what I'm going to do is show you guys. So here's some lip and cheek options. I've got Petal and I've got Ruby, which I'm going to use both of those on my cheeks and my lips right now. And then this is a lip conditioner. It's part of our skin line. And I always put that on. I put it on before anybody had jumped on today, but I always put that on before I put any of my makeup on, and it just kind of softens my lips up a little bit and conditions my lips as I'm putting on my other makeup. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my blend brush. I love this little brush. It's probably, like, I don't know, people don't talk about it much, but it is one of my favorite brushes. Favorite. Okay, but I'm gonna take this little bit of Petal, which is the really pink color, and I'm just gonna put it a little bit here because I feel like it's a nice kind of brightening color, and it's good to kind of brighten up that cheek area. And I have kind of chipmunk cheeks, so I really like to kind of brighten that up. Okay, so just the tiniest bit of pink there. And then I'm gonna take Ruby, which is in the middle, And I'm gonna put just a little bit of that right above my contour. It doesn't take much either, like depending on your skin tone, but I mean, even if you have really dark skin, it doesn't take much of the lip and cheek, and it doesn't take much of the highlights and the contours either. The products last for months and months. I think I put a graphic on the page, on the group page, about how long they last, but okay, so now I got a little blush going on, okay? So I really like those two together. We have a lot of different color, you know, like combinations. So if you like pinks or reds or neutrals, that's another question that I always ask on my color match form, because I want to know like what you're into and what colors you think look best on you, so that I can give you some recommendations for that. Okay. So one of the next products I want to show you is bronzer. Bronzer is like one of my favorite products. And I really didn't like it at first because I didn't understand it and I didn't know how to use it. But now I do a little bit better, a lot better. And so we have a brush called the Blush Bronzer Brush. So I can only say that one time without messing it up. This big fuzzy end, remember how I told you with this brush how it was just so the buff, it's so dense. This is completely opposite. This one's dense and this one is not. This one's super fluffy, and so this is good for really light coverage, which is good because on the bronzer you want a light coverage. So the bronzer is just, here's the bronzer. So this is contour, bronzer, and this is actually illuminator, which I'm going to show you next. This is called oh, I just had a brain fart. Glow Illuminator. It's my favorite. It's a cream illuminator. But so what I like to do is I actually like to take my bronzer and my Glow Illuminator and I just rub my brush into them together and I mix them up a little bit. So kind of like this. I'm getting a little bit of product on each. And then the whole point of bronzer is to make just areas on your face look a little more sun-kissed. So it's just really nice to have, like, put a little on your neck. You can put a little on those areas that typically if you're out in the sun would get a little bit more sun. So these kind of areas typically get more sun. Maybe, you know, you could put a little bit on your neck to kind of even out your skin tone a little bit. You have to be careful with it because if you use too much of it, it tends to make you look a little dirty. So you just have to, like, it makes your skin look dirty. So you have to play with that a little bit and kind of figure out what you like. And I like to put just a little bit. And when you mix it with that Glow Illuminator, the Glow Illuminator gives it a little bit of a shine. A little bit on my neck. Okay. All right, and then I'm going to take a little bit of glow and just put it here. Now, illuminators are really cool. They are, we have cream and powder illuminators. So, let me see if I can show you a little bit of both. So these are a couple of the cream illuminators that we have. We have, I think, about 6 of them. But these are cream illuminators and they are just a little bit less sparkly, but they give you just a little bit of shine. They can help you, like, with that dewy look. The dewy look is in, so all that matte sort of look is a little less popular these days. Not to say that you can't put a little bit of matte on your face, like a little bit of setting powder, which we have, to kind of set things, and that'll just make you look a little less shiny if you don't want to look shiny. Looking shiny and looking dewy are kind of different to me. So, but here are our cream, some of our cream illuminators, and so they're just a little bit more sparkly. And they will actually, they really show up. They are going to be super sparkly on you. So you can see if I put it there, how much that shows up. And a lot of people will put just a little illuminator, like right under the brow, right here at the very top of your cheekbone, sometimes a little bit right here. let's see if I have one in here. I do. I have another one in this compact. This is my favorite one, and I always forget it, Georgia. This is called Georgia. So Georgia is one that people like to put on sometimes too. Oh, now with my lip and cheek, I forgot to put it on my actual lips. Now, a lot of people will just use their finger to put the lip and cheek on their lips, but you can also use our multitasker brush. It's got a little end to help kind of contour your lips, and then it's got a larger end that can help put on the lipstick. Let me make sure I have like my dark color off of here. Just cleaning my brush a little bit. And if you do end up buying a couple of our brushes, we have a brush cleaner that is very, very cool. The brush cleaner, brushes are important you have to clean these brushes because a lot of bacteria can build up on your brush and it can end up giving you a lot of skin issues. And it's just gross. And your makeup goes on so much better when your brushes are clean too. So this is our brush cleaner. It sanitizes, it gets the bacteria off, gets them all clean, and they dry within seconds. Sometimes when you clean your brushes, like anytime you clean your brushes with soap and water, it's gonna take a long time for them to dry. So with this, you can use them right away. So I just spray mine on a cloth. These are the washcloths that I use and then you just clean. I cleaned my brushes earlier. Here's my little rag. This is what I cleaned off before you guys got on. So this was all my cleaning off my brushes. Can get pretty gross. Okay. So I'm cleaning off my multitasker. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with my Ruby, which is that darker shade. And a little trick, if you don't like the brighter shades of lip and cheek, you can use your bronzer. Put your bronzer on first, and then put your like more bright lip and cheek on. And it really tends to tone it down. So that's a trick I use all the time because I'm not really into like super bright colors. And I'm gonna show you, I'm gonna put a little bit of petal on there. So I'm gonna go back into my petal. Wipe it off a little bit. I'm listening to my 80s remix. I don't know if you guys can hear it or not. Little Madonna coming on now. Okay, so I'm gonna go to my petal and hit that over it. And that's gonna help tone it down. Okay, now, what else you can do with this little brush is you can take this little end, the small end, the more pointy end, and you can dip into your contour, and you can do a little contour on your lips. Because you have a natural shadow that falls right underneath those lips. And then you can do a little bit at the top if you like. Here we go. It's hard to talk while you're doing lips. Okay. So that's all of the lip and cheek. So we basically covered all of the basic components and products that are in the 3D line. We do have a wide range of eyeshadows, which is one of my favorite parts of the company and of all the product line is there's so many shadows. They just keep going and going and going and going. But yeah, so we have all these different color, highly pigmented, really great shadows. And I talked about in the beginning of the live just how, you know, like you can customize your palette so much more easily than if you're going to like CVS or Target and you're picking out that 8 palette that, you know, you really don't like all those colors. So that's one of the really good things about this makeup. We do offer a, it's called Black Friday. It's a cream eyeliner, which I use almost every day. It's a really great eyeliner. We also have a setting powder called Vanilla Dust Setting Powder. And so if you feel like your skin is oily and you get a little bit more shiny, we have this powder brush and we have the setting powder. And you can utilize that and just kind of touch up on the shiny parts that you don't particularly want to be shiny. But like I said, the dewy look is in. And so to me, that was probably one of the harder things to kind of get used to, is because I was used to everything kind of looking matte. And so everything's, the way makeup is going right now and the way our skin is naturally, it's not usually like matte in one color. So the little bit of shininess is okay. But if it's a little too much for you, then you can use that setting powder. And then also that setting powder, it's really good. So I don't know how many times I've heard throughout this pandemic, because I started my little side hustle during the pandemic. So I've had so many people say, I don't even wear makeup. Like, I'm not doing any makeup because what's the point? I have to wear that mask. So I'm here to tell you, because I'm in the medical field and I've been wearing masks for a long time, for 16 years, that this makeup, when you use the setting spray and you use the Vanilla Dust Setting Powder, those two things have helped so much with when I'm wearing my mask, keeping my makeup going. Not all of it, obviously, some of it's going to rub off, but it really does keep my makeup going. I usually work like 10 to 12 hour shifts every day. And most of the time, depending on how rough I am, my makeup stays. Now I know you're like, well, who sees it? But you don't have your mask on every second of the day. So, and I feel like even though I've got my mask on, like the rest of my face is still showing. You can see all of this. You can see my eyes, under my eyes. So, you know, that's what I really focus on right now anyway. I really focus on my eyes, and I think it's a cool time to, if everything's covered, you're able to really focus on those eyes, and those eyeshadows that we have can really bring out those different colors in your eyes. So we have a spectrum of colors. One more thing I wanted to show you guys before I got off is our brow wax. So we do offer a brow wax, which looks a little bit weird, but it's a wax. Mine looks a little dirty, and I'll show you why. So I was telling you how cool that I think our contours are. I use my brow wax and my contour that I used for my cheeks and up here and down here, and to contour my nose, remember that. So I use that same product to go in and do my eyebrows. So I use, what color is this? Ash. This is Ash Contour. And I use my little spoolie brush that we have. So I use my detail brush. This is what it's called. It's got a little spoolie. Mine looks a little dirty. Sorry, I didn't clean my spoolie today. And so what I do is I use my brow wax and I just rub it in the brow wax. Just a little bit. Just got to get some on there because it's wax. It doesn't come right off like the creams. So I just kind of brush my brows, and everybody does what I've learned about brows. And I used to not care at all about my eyebrows. I'll just be honest, guys. I didn't know jack about it. I still am not a brow expert, but I do pay a little bit more attention to them now. But I like to kind of brush mine up and then out. And so this brow wax kind of helps everything kind of stay put. And then I take this little end, this detail end, and I dip it into here. And I'm going to do it here in the mirror because I don't think I can do my eyebrows in the phone. But basically, you can kind of just fill them in. And so I'm going to use, you can also use our eyeshadows to do this, guys. Our eyeshadows are really great to fill in your brows as well. So I kind of go up with it. And then I just kind of line where I want my line to go. Every time my husband sees me do this, he's like, you look crazy. He thinks anytime I fill my brows in, I look crazy for some reason, but I think it looks nice. All right, so then I just kind of, there we go. I think that is such an improvement, and it just takes a few seconds to put a little bit of color in it. This is such a big improvement over this. And so I have kind of short eyebrows, so I just bring them out just a little bit, not where they look fake or crazy, but just bring them out a little bit. And so I'm going to do that with the other side. So I'm going to fill them in a little bit there. And if you need to bring your brows in a little bit more, some people, they want to bring them in a little bit more, this is a perfect product for doing that as well. And we have so many different color contours that we can find the right color for you. Because remember I said some of them pull a little bit more red, some of them are cool, some of them are warm, and it just kind of, they're going to look different on you. So we got to find the right one for you, particularly if you're going to fill in your brows. Okay. All right, so I think that is a huge improvement. And you don't have to know a lot about brows. You don't have to be a makeup artist to, you know, feel good about yourself and get your makeup on your face the way maybe you've seen it in a magazine and you're like, I want to be able to do that. And then you just feel intimidated like you can't do it. But I'm here to tell you, you can do it. I didn't know anything about makeup. I didn't do my makeup, not really. I used the little CoverGirl compact things. I hardly ever put eyeshadow on. And now I love it. I play in makeup all the time and it's so much fun. Okay. So I feel like I've probably covered all the products with you guys today. I know I didn't have a lot of people jump in, so hopefully you guys will, I know it's Saturday and it was kind of last minute, so I apologize for that, but go back and replay and watch it and, you know, pick up a few ideas if you want to. Send me your information for the color match form if you're interested. There's no strings attached to filling out a color match form, so if you just fill it out, I'll give you some recommendations and we can talk through it, or you can ask questions, and no strings attached. So it's just basically to kind of give you an idea of what products would be best for your skin tone. And I'm happy to do it. So ask all the questions. I still go back and I'll look at all of the comments. So if you have a question, drop me a question. And I hope you guys have a wonderful Saturday, and I hope to hear from you soon. Bye, guys.